South Africa has successfully hosted the 20th anniversary of the African Peer Review Mechanism in Sandton, north of Johannesburg. The African Peer Review Mechanism is a mutually agreed instrument voluntarily acceded to by member states of the African Union as a self-monitoring mechanism on African ownership and leadership. The goal is for all participating countries to accelerate their progress towards adopting and implementing the priorities and programs of the new Partnership for Africa's Development through achieving mutually agreed objectives and compliance with best practices. Sierra Leone's President, Julius Maada was in attendance and also took part in the festivities to mark the milestone. Bongani Siziba has more.
Formed in 2003 with a vision to promote self-assessment, peer learning and sharing of experiences related to democracy and good governance, the platform called the African Peer Review Mechanism has become a beacon of hope for the continent. And this historic occasion marks 2 decades of progress in fostering African solutions to African problems.
And I want to particularly acknowledge the role that has been played by President Thabo Mbeki, who was the chair of the African Union when the APRM was launched 20 years ago, and who has been one of the mechanism's most ardent and consistent advocates and supporters. I also wish to acknowledge the role that has also been played by President Olusegun Obasanjo, who was also instrumental to launch the APRM and ensured that Nigeria became one of the very first countries to accede to the mechanism.
Joined together in this noble endeavor, His Excellency the President of Sierra Leone delivered a powerful speech on the significance of the African Peer Review Mechanism in shaping Africa's future.
Through voluntary self-driven assessments and peer-to-peer learning, the APRM has facilitated a transformative journey for countless African nations. It has provided a platform for honest introspection, constructive criticism, and collaborative action towards strengthening democratic institutions, fostering economic growth, and promoting social development.
South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, however, expressed concerns about ongoing conflicts across Africa. He says the conflicts reverse the gains that have been made.
Also on our continent, we are also witnessing democratic gains that are being rolled back, fundamental rights and freedoms that are being curtailed, and the positions of already vulnerable groups on our continent worsening. These developments should trouble all of us. They are setbacks in our quest to realize what the visionary leaders of our continent said we should accede to have the Africa that we want.
Over the last 2 decades, the APRM's constitution has become a sacrosanct principle guiding African nations towards a brighter future. It has helped shape policies, strengthen institutions, and enhance accountability, advancing the cause of democracy and good governance. These African leaders, policymakers, and civil society representatives here say there are successful stories and positive transformations that have taken place in their respective countries through the implementation of APRM recommendations.
And when we review a country, we visit all the provinces, all the districts. We talk to everybody, young people, church people, market women, everybody, to get their opinion and their views. And this is what we gather and give it to the government and say, this is what your people say. So in every recommendation, we have where the government is doing well and where the government has challenges.
Initiatives like the APRM, leaders are able to benchmark, they are able to share ideas, and learn best practices towards solving these conflicts and towards silencing the guns and helping to build their countries, to build good governance for their countries.
In facets across the country.
As the celebrations came to a close, the spirit of collaboration and commitment to African solutions for African problems remained strong. The African peer review mechanism says it will continue to involve and adapt, working hand in hand with African nations to ensure a brighter, more inclusive and prosperous future for all. Bongani, Siziba for News Central TV in Johannesburg.